What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Hsu.com,
and we got Charlize Theron's
Academy Award winner.
Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, John Goodman, James McAvoy, who is coming out very hot after
Professor
Split.
X, Split.
Yeah, and we have a movie that me and you have both, I think, have mentioned numerous times. One of our most anticipated movies of the year.
Pumped.
Saw 10 minutes of this at CinemaCon, and it was
you
just
loved it?
Incredible. And I've loved all the trailers. I think, like, trailer-wise, we don't do it anymore. We used to pick our favorite trailers. This was definitely probably one of my favorite trailers of the year. Got me very pumped up. Did the movie meet your expectations?
I'm gonna have to say it did not. Out of 10, I'll have to give it a 7 out of 10. And
which is generous.
And
or not generous as in like over generous, but that's
you know
a
what
good rating.
You know what it is though? Is because Charlize Theron. She's just sexy, she's elegant, she's classy, and she kicked a whole lot of butt in this movie.
Doing her own stunts.
And if you watch the featurette of this, and I recommend everyone watch the featurette where she like explains this, and as you're watching every time she's in a scene where she's gonna go ham on somebody, you're watching thinking, wow, that really is Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
And we had the director of John Wick direct this film, so then he was able to take a lot of those elements. And it's funny because me and Kent were making fun in John Wick 2. He kept on doing this rolling move.
Yeah, he did the same hip toss every time.
Yeah, every time. And in this one, she had one of those. But Charlize Theron's Lorraine, what's her name? Lorraine, thank you. Lorraine's move was the front kick.
Yeah.
And I liked it though. And I think what happened was with me is the story. It dragged. And it went long, and as soon as you think the movie's over, like, okay, just kidding, and then it continues on, and then you think it's over, and then, so it dragged, and then the final ending, and you're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
but
no, I think that's fair.
But the fighting was excellent. It looked beautiful. The action's beautiful. Just the story. And
it comes to show you that not every action sequence has to be cut up 150 times.
And this wasn't even cut up. You know, she
yeah,
just
that's what I'm saying.
Going.
Same thing with John Wick. The two action movies that people have raved about has been John Wick, and now people will rave about this. And to think like, oh, this is not mainstream action. They actually just let you kind of sit there and see everything that's happening. Maybe tells you that people are ready for changes.
Cutscene.
You don't need it.
Different angle, cutscene, different. Shake the camera.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe we're going in a new direction.
Hey, I'm down. But yeah, overall 7 out of 10, and yeah, that probably is a little generous. But hey, when you're Charlize Theron,
no, I didn't think it was over. I was just saying like, oh, that's a great. I mean, that's a fair rating. And
it's definitely not an 8 though, and it's definitely not a 9 and 10. So I feel 7's good because 5 being at my average, it's better than average, and it was a little bit better than that because Charlize, and she's just sexy, man.
Well, yeah, she's always impressive, and one thing that always really impresses me about her is she's constantly trying to do something different and doing different genres, and she's been in pretty much every genre you could think of, messing around, doing different things, and obviously in this one dedicating herself to learning stunts and being able to be, not only an atomic bombshell, if you will, an ass-kicking bombshell. No, I think I actually pretty much agree with you on everything you said. The only thing I think that you left out that's really effective in this movie is the soundtrack. It has a great soundtrack.
Yeah, oh yeah, see that helped too.
Being in at the fall of the Berlin Wall, late 80s, having just that loud and very apparent, and even feels like mostly elevated soundtrack through some of these really great parts really puts this movie over the edge.
Is it me, or does it just seem like movies right now lately have just been focusing so much on soundtrack? Is that just me?
Well, I think right now it's definitely becoming more of a popular thing.
It is.
I know you keep going back, yeah, but you were like saying, you were kind of talking about this with Baby Driver and things like that.
And then before that, Suicide Squad, and then before that,
the only difference with all those
Guardians
though
of
is Baby Driver was we only listened to what the character listened to. It was never something external that audiences only listened to. But no, and I just think they know that 80s music just gets people pumped. They just know it works, so they blast it.
Hey, do you feel that Charlize Theron in certain scenes, you could have Angelina Jolie right next to her, you may be confused which one's which?
No.
No? Did anyone else feel that way?
So.
No? They look so similar to me.
Really?
In certain scenes.
No, I don't think I would. I mean, maybe I'm not thinking back, and maybe
Did you see the movie Salt?
Yeah, I saw Salt.
This reminded me a lot of Salt too.
Yeah.
A lot of Salt.
Also Lucy. Did it remind you of Lucy?
Yeah, a lot of Lucy.
Maybe not plot-wise, but
Yeah, just the yeah.
But no. Out of all those, I would definitely pick Atomic Blonde. So I mean, the action was so far impressive. I mean, some of the best fighting sequences you'll see all year, I think. But yeah, the problem does fall in the story. Not only and it's not even that the story is necessarily bad. It's just not much for you to cling on to. It's nothing for you to kind of really react to emotionally. It's just more of like, I'm going into this wanting to see, Charlize Theron just, in these great fighting sequences. Everything else is just kind of second, right? It feels like that action is kind of the priority and everything else just kind of falls by the wayside. The story doesn't feel important. And then, it gets convoluted, of course, with the doubles and agents and triple agents and, the twist.
Who knows how?
It's one of the few movies where I've seen a twist not get any reaction. Like, no one, it just didn't feel like, like as we go to Spider-Man, which has a very subtle little twist that's not even really a twist. That's like, oh wow, that's a cool little twist. This movie has this, supposedly really big turn, and it's just like, oh, okay. Like you said, you accept it, you move on. It's not something to really. I don't think it. My problem is, besides the action sequences, even that I think it was a fun movie watching.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one I'll think about as the year goes on.
Damn, what a shame too, because we were
really pumped for this. But I think it's one of those situations where, like Kent said when we were talking off camera, that I will always be able to enjoy the trailers because that's where all the good stuff is.
Love it all.
But I mean, not to say that don't come see it, because the action sequences that were previewed to in the trailers are where it's at. I mean, the I want to say third and final really big action set piece
hallway scene
is phenomenal. I mean, mind blowing. It was so good. So,
love it.
Make sure to check it out, though. We also reviewed
Emoji Movie.
The Emoji Movie, as well as A Ghost Story. So make sure to go check out our reviews for that.
And then they can decide which one to watch this week.
Yes, absolutely. Next week we have
Kidnap, Halle Berry.
Kidnapped, Detroit, and
John Boyega.
Yes, and the Dark Tower movie.
Idris Elba. Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. Being a Stephen King fan, I'm excited to see this. This is one series that I've not read from Stephen King, so I'm watching this and I'm just kind of like, oh boy, this looks like a lot's going on.
I've actually never read a Stephen King any.
It's a shame. You should read some. You should read it before it comes out. It's only about 1,200 pages.
I've seen the movie already.
You've seen the TV movie. You've never seen
Part 1 and 2,
movie.
and I enjoyed it.
But yeah, I'm hoping that's good. Obviously a lot of people are dedicated to that series. They're big fans of that franchise. So I'm curious to see how that turns out.
I love it all. And yeah.
You can see how pumped we were after the movie.
Oh, ChaseandSimon.com is noticed.
Film Lovers website.